So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the difference between the loose equality operator and strict equality operator in JavaScript. The loose equality operator is using the double equals sign, and the strict equality operator uses one more, the triple equals sign. Now, both do a very similar thing. They check to see whether the values either side of them are the same or different. And if they find that they are the same, they return the Boolean value true, and if they find they are different, they return the Boolean value false. But there is an important difference between them. So the loose equality operator tests for value equality only. It doesn't check whether the two values either side of it are of a different type or not. So you can think of the loose equality operator as blind to data type, whereas the strict equality operator tests for value and type equality. So it's not enough for just the values to be the same, the type also has to be the same as well. Now, if you don't already know this, it's quite hard to figure out because in the vast majority of cases, the loose and strict equality operator will return the same values, true or false. So if we compare numeric 2 using both, it's going to return true. If we compare numeric 2 with numeric 3, they are both going to return false. Now, given what we know about the difference between the loose and strict equality operator, let's now try and compare numeric 2 with the value 2 in a string. And I'll do that in both cases. So this time what's going to happen is the loose equality operator is going to return true. It does this because it coerces these two values to be of the same type and then checks the value exclusively, and that's all happening in the background, whereas the strict equality operator does not coerce these two to be of the same type. It checks the value and the type, and unless both are the same, it's going to return false. So we're going to see true for the loose equality comparison and false for the strict equality comparison on this occasion. Now, you may be wondering which one you should use. Now, it's generally considered better practice to use the strict equality operator all the time and avoid use of the loose equality operator. And the reason is that the loose equality operator, because it's coercing values to be of the same type, this can sometimes lead to unexpected errors. So you can get caught out using the loose equality operator in ways that you may not think about when you're writing your code. So to demonstrate, we're not usually using the loose and strict equality operators like this. We're usually doing it inside a conditional statement. So I'm going to check the value of user input. I'll create the variable in a moment. So I'll place the user input variable up here and I'll give that a value in a moment. And if the comparison between user input and whatever value I enter is true, then I'm going to log a message to the console saying condition is true. So to show you some of the issues you can run into using the loose equality operator, I'm going to do a comparison here to check if the value of user input is false. So what I'm going to do here is, first of all, just to check the if statement is working, enter false. So this should return condition is true, and it does. I'm going to comment out this code up here so it doesn't interfere with the input. Now, if I try an empty string, these are not the same values, but the comparison still returns true. It also returns true if the input is 0. Now you might be thinking at this point, these are all falsy values. Maybe if false is compared with a falsy value, it's always going to return true, but that isn't the case. So if I enter here undefined, the condition is false. And if I enter null, the condition is also false. So because of the type coercion that happens with the loose equality operator, it can sometimes return some unpredictable results. But there are a couple of exceptions to using the strict equality operator that you may sometimes come across in code. So one very common exception to the use of the strict equality operator is to check if some value like user input is null or undefined, and you can check by just typing null or undefined, and then if user input is either null or undefined, it's going to return true. So if I save this like it is, this should return true. Condition is true. For falsy values like 0, it's not. Only null or undefined are going to run the if statement in this case. So this works perfectly fine, but if someone else comes along and reads your code, they might wonder, are you just testing for undefined and you forgot to use the strict equality operator, or are you using this technique? So there is some ambiguity in your code if you employ this. So generally speaking, it's better practice to employ the strict equality operator and then add another condition, is user input null. So this is now very explicit. It's very clear to anyone coming along what you are testing for in your code. You're testing for undefined or null. Now there is one other common exception to the use of the strict equality operator, and that is to use the loose equality operator in order to ignore type deliberately. So say the user input is a string and it's a value of 2, you know it's going to be a number, but it's a string, so you use the loose equality operator to ignore type. So let me change this to 2 and the condition will come through as true. This works in this example, but you can get caught out. So let's say you want to check if user input is 0 or not, and the user input is actually false. Now you'd want this not to return condition is true because these are different values. You want to know if it's 0, but it's going to return true. So you can get caught out like this using the loose equality operator, coercing these two values, which are different, to be the same value. So you can get caught out using the loose equality operator in this way. So better practice in this use case is to use the strict equality operator, and because we know that user input is going to be a string, we can take advantage of the parseInt method. So that's available on the built-in number object, and we pass in user input. So this is going to convert a string into an integer, so it's comparing numeric value with numeric value. Now if I try and compare false with 0, the condition is not being marked as true. If I try and compare numeric string with 0 in, it is going to show true. So this is better practice if you want to compare a string with a numeric value. So to summarize this video, the loose equality operator, the double equals sign, tests for equality of value only, whereas to summarize this video, the loose equality operator tests if two values are the same only, and it coerces those values to be of the same type in the background. Whereas the strict equality operator, there's no coercion and it tests for value and type equality. And because it doesn't coerce the two values to be of the same type, it avoids the kind of unpredictable results that I've shown you using the loose equality operator.